Learning is hard. We've all experienced feeling the weight of confusion, frustration, or even self doubt when learning something new. It could be a new programming language, a new topic at school, a new sport, or even a new recipe. I personally experienced all of this in 2019 when I started learning how to code on my own without a computer science university degree, a coding bootcamp, or even a mentor. I got frustrated a lot of times implementing new functionality, fixing bugs, and trying to figure out the best coding practices. At some point, the thought of quitting and sticking to mechanical engineering even crossed my mind. I've come a long way since then. I've been coding for about 5 years now, and in that time, I've repeatedly learned a lot of complex topics and concepts. I have acquired new skills and honed my previously acquired skills using the very tips I will be sharing with you in this video. Before we get to the first tip, let's lay a foundation. What does it mean to learn? At its essence, learning is a dynamic process through which our brains assimilate new information, experiences, or skills. It is something that fuels our journey through life. Learning is undeniably challenging, yet it is an essential part of our journey through life. As children, we learned how to walk, we learned how to talk, we learned how to write. And now as adults, we continue learning for various reasons. It could be to advance our careers, to switch career paths, integrate into a new environment, or become better partners. Regardless of the reason, learning is inevitable. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, the only treasure that enriches without loss." Despite its paramount importance, learning is not always a smooth and effortless journey. The path is often full of hurdles and roadblocks that can leave us questioning our abilities or even make us quit the learning process altogether. Hello friends, my name is Theo. I'm a software engineer currently living in Nigeria. Today, I'll be giving you 4 practical tips that will make learning a lot easier for you to navigate. And if you stick to the end of this video, I have a bonus tip for you. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in. Tip 1. Find your why. Why is one of the most important questions you can ask yourself when you embark on any new endeavor. In a paper titled Building a Practically Useful Theory of Goal Setting and Task Motivation, the authors summarized 35 years of research, and these were 2 core findings from the research. 1. Specific, difficult goals lead to higher performance. Vague, do your best goals lack clear standards and don't drive improvement. Specific, challenging goals provide direction and focused effort. The second finding was that goal commitment matters. People committed to their goals put in more effort and persist through obstacles. Goal setting with participation and feedback fosters commitment. Having an end goal in mind is a powerful compass that guides our learning journey through uncertainties and challenges, and definitely there will be uncertainties and challenges. You should always have a goal in mind when learning. Remember I told you earlier that frustration almost made me quit learning how to code. Countless hours spent staring at code, each error message fueling a fire of doubt. But then I remembered my why. I couldn't stand the repetitive monotony of every mechanical engineering job in my country. My mind craved challenges. Software engineering was the answer, a combination of logic, problem solving, and endless possibilities. It was a choice to push through the frustration or resign myself to a future of boredom. So I pushed, and with every line of code, the frustration faded, replaced by a growing sense of accomplishment and excitement. This wasn't just about coding, it was about building my future, brick by brick, one line of code at a time. To become a better learner, you need to find your why. Why am I learning to play the keyboard? Why am I learning how to code? Why am I learning to become a better communicator? Why? The more convincing the answer is to you, the more likely you are to stick to the end and attain a good level of competence in whatever you're learning. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Tip number 2, craft your learning sanctuary. What makes a good learning environment? Is it a clean and aesthetically pleasing desk? Is it a quiet coffee shop with smooth jazz music playing in the background? Most people will tell you that a good work environment is one that is organized and clutter-free. However, studies have shown this is not exactly the case. This is not entirely true. Having your desk a little messy can be even more productive. Imagine a fictional character, let's say John. John is the most organized person in his class. He has a personal library at home with all his school textbooks carefully arranged, with the largest books at the bottom, the smaller books at the top. And his maths textbook is the biggest book of all. John is a good student, but for some reason he's constantly struggling with maths. Well, from this little scenario, I can imagine that the reason John struggles with maths is because he dreads the thought of always taking down all his books to get to his maths textbooks and rearranging all of them whenever he wants to study maths. He might just as well study only his notes and miss out on the deeper understanding he would have gotten from consistently studying maths and improving on his weaknesses. Albert Einstein once said, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, then what do we think of an empty desk? An empty mind? This is the same reason why auto mechanics have a dedicated workshop, and many of your favorite YouTube creators have dedicated studios. Your learning sanctuary should be somewhere you can easily get into and quickly become productive, because all your tools are set up efficiently and in close proximity. You don't want the thought of dismantling and setting up every single time to deter you from the goal you have begun with from tip 1. Your learning environment does not have to be the most organized, but it should be the most efficient for you. Get a quiet space free from distractions. Invest in an ergonomic chair. There are so many ergonomic chairs out there these days that are budget friendly. Get a good sized desk with the most important learning materials on it or close to it. These investments will greatly aid your learning journey. Tip number 3, don't overlook the teacher. About 10 years ago, I wanted to learn how to play the piano, and I asked someone in my local church to teach me. And by the second day, I was already required to start playing some harmonies. And guess what? I never learned how to play the piano. However, I learned a very vital lesson that's helped me become a better learner. And that lesson is, just any teacher won't cut it. The reason I wasn't able to learn the piano then was because of my teacher. Now, I'm not saying the teacher was bad. The teacher was decent. But the way he approached teaching didn't suit me. I learn better when I understand the foundational concepts of a topic or a skill. I can then pick up other parts at a good pace. In this case, I didn't even understand how the keys on the keyboard worked. And I still don't. I wasn't a bad student. I just had the wrong teacher. This is also the case for so many people out there. They are not dull. They are not bad students. They simply have chosen the wrong teacher. The fact that your friend or someone on the internet told you they took a particular course to learn how to code doesn't mean that it's the right course for you. In fact, you might learn better by first reading a book on Python or watching a YouTube video on simple recipes. This is why it is essential to discover the learning style that best works for you. Then you can find a teacher that suits your style. You may learn better with books, with videos, or in a more formal environment like a university. You may even learn better in a group or all by yourself. Tip number 4, slow and steady wins the race. Like most things in life, learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Imagine trying to get those sexy 6-packs by working out once a month. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. And sadly, I know that from experience. Learning is the same. Short, consistent bursts are far more effective than marathon cramming sessions. Schedule a dedicated practice time every single day, even if it's just for 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day. When people ask me for advice on how to learn how to code, my number one advice to them is to be consistent, to code for at least 1 hour every day, not coding for 7 hours in one day and not opening your code editor for the next 7 days. That would be an absolute waste of time because you forget most of what you've learned and spend another couple of hours reviewing what you had already learned in the past. Consistency beats intensity. Imagine trying to swallow a whole pizza in one go. That's not pleasant, right? Learning is similar. Think of it like, let's say, building a Lego, one colorful brick at a time. This makes the information less overwhelming and allows you to truly understand each piece before moving on to the next. Dedicate time to learn every day. Even if you must skip days, try not to skip more than one day. That is it. I have nothing more to say on this topic. Be consistent. And now, the bonus tip. Embrace feeling stupid. Every expert was once a complete beginner. Michael Jordan didn't become a basketball sensation overnight. Leonardo da Vinci didn't become the legendary artist who painted Mona Lisa just in one day. Attaining mastery takes time and humility. The humility to acknowledge that you know nothing. When you start learning something new, there are times you feel completely clueless. You feel like a novice, which of course you are. And it's not something bad. In fact, it's a good thing. It's validation that you have courage to leave your comfort zone. Like Socrates said, the only true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. Sadly, so many people give up learning at this stage, and they never find out what would have been if they had stayed on the path a little longer. The truth is, everyone starts somewhere. The journey is just as important as the destination. Embrace the struggle, see it as an opportunity to grow, and don't be afraid of feeling a little silly sometimes. After all, those aha moments when things finally click will be sweeter because of the challenges you have overcome. And those are my 5 tips for learning. I am certain that if you apply this, you will achieve your goals. If you would like to see more videos like this, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. See you in the next one. Ciao.